Well, April, I think the best way to show people what they need in a hurricane kit is to give them an example of one of ours. So here is one of our kits that we have here ready to go for a hurricane. So let's look what I just pulled out right here. You need to have your medicines, of course. Chargers are very important as well. Toothpaste, utility knives. I like a Swiss Army knife like this. It has 5 or 6 options on it. Your prescriptions, deodorant, toothbrush, things you'll need for 3 or 4 days just to be ready. Now you'll see on my side pocket, I got mosquito spray, and that's because once the storm passes and all the rain passes, it gets super humid here in Florida, and a lot of mosquitoes come out. So you need to be ready with the mosquito spray, as well as the sunscreen, because most of our hurricanes are gonna happen when it's really hot outside, when the sun is shining afterwards. That can lead to a lot of solar radiation irritation. I also like to have a sleeping bag and a sleeping mat so I can sleep wherever I need to be, especially if I'm having to move or if something happens to my home or if I'm responding to an event outside for work. Another thing that you need to have, of course, right up here in the top is a first aid kit. You never know what's going to happen, so you need to make sure you have one of these handy at all times, especially during a hurricane or hurricane season in general. Something for COVID-19, you want to make sure you have masks and a couple of change of masks. You have to congregate with people, get within 6 feet of people. It's going to happen a lot, especially if we have a rebuilding process we have to go through. Masks are going to be super important. Water. One thing about water is that you need to have enough for the first 72 hours that we have immediately after the hurricane. So that's 1 gallon a day per person in your family. So in my family, I have 3 people. 3 times 3 is 9, so I need 9 gallons of water to make it through the first 72 hours. And by then, we can expect to have help from the outside entities like FEMA, the State Emergency Management. People like that will be in charge, but the first 72 are on you. Bring your water. The other thing that we need here in the age of COVID is a lot of hand sanitizer. Make sure to have hand sanitizer on hand with you during the hurricane event. So let's go further into this bag. As you might have guessed, you need to have all of your documents, so we're talking copies of birth certificates, social security cards, driver's license, things like that. Make sure it's in a waterproof Ziploc bag. The other thing you're going to need is cash. If there's no electricity, there's no ATMs, or the ability to use your credit card, this is what's going to get you through. So always have cash with you. I like this. I think this is really cool. It's a solar-powered charger. That way you always have access to power for your phones. Basic hand tools, so think adjustable wrenches, flathead, and Phillips head screwdriver. If you're going to be isolated for a while with no electricity, I like to have a book. This is The Longest Day by Cornelius Ryan, so a little bit of irony there. If you can, get a hurricane guide, print one of these out if you can online, or you can come by our offices here at the Okaloosa County Administration Building or at the Bracken Building, which is 302 Wilson Street in Crestview. We also pass them out to a couple of the Chambers of Commerce. You can get them there. I like to have energy bars just in case. 72 hours is a long time, so make sure that you have plenty of food available with you. And then have a couple of spare changes of clothes, things like that will keep you dry. Staying wet, especially during the immediate aftermath of a hurricane, is not a great idea. Everything from chafing to other sundry problems that you can come through during a hurricane, all serious issues. And so that's why you need to have a bag prepared, especially during all of hurricane season, but more specifically as we approach the next coming storms in the next couple of months. We see a lot of activity in the Gulf of Mexico, in the later part of the summer. But those are pretty much everything you need to have in order to be ready for a hurricane. Make a kit like this, keep it in your home, keep it ready, and keep it stocked. Make sure you check it every year, especially at the beginning of the hurricane season. But for now, that's all I got.